far-right parties have made major gains in European Union parliamentary elections. In France, President Emmanuel Macron's party suffered a blistering defeat, and as a result, he dissolved the country's parliament and is calling for a snap election. Semafor senior editor Prashant Rao joins us now from London. Prashant, thank you so much for being here. We appreciate it. So first, let's start with what exactly the EU Parliament actually does.
So the European Parliament has a number of functions in the European political system. It's not the place where all the legislation gets decided. That Europe, as is common, has a multifaceted, needlessly complex system. But among the things it does is it vets the commissioners, so the de facto cabinet of the European Commission. It will certainly scrutinize and vote on legislation that covers all of Europe, but individual member states retain a lot of individual powers to do with, justice, policing, home affairs, their own foreign policy. But it has grown in power in the in the years past.
So how will what we saw here have a general impact on how this parliament governs?
In a number of ways. One, it sets the tone, obviously, for the region's politics. And so just from a sort of ephemeral point, it has that kind of narrative value. But then from a more practical sense, we saw the euro fall. We saw, in terms of markets, we saw carbon markets actually fall. And, sort of carbon trading. That's kind of a proxy to show that I think people are a little bit worried that Europe's Green Deal is likely in a bit of trouble. We might see harder pushes against immigration. That's been obviously a big sort of issue for the far right across the region. So there will be some policy impacts, certainly.
And let's talk about this kind of ascension of the far right. Has this been something that has been brewing for some time, or what were some of the big policy issues really driving this?
It has been brewing for quite some time. Progressively in, I would say the past 10 years, far right parties across the region have made sort of steady gains. In France, Marine Le Pen hold neck and neck with President Emmanuel Macron's party. The last set of European Parliament elections, in this set of elections, of course, her party trounced Macron's party. So there have been a lot of these kinds of long-term trends, and then they were, I would say, buffeted by a series of changes across the European Union, as well as individual issues. As an example, in Germany, just a couple weeks before the election, a police officer was among those stabbed by a man who is alleged to be a migrant. And that has really kind of turbocharged the immigration debate in Germany. So there have been a combination of individual issues, long-term trends, and kind of block-wide, I wouldn't say moves against immigration, but certainly a hardening of attitudes.
Yeah, and let's talk a little bit about Macron calling for this snap election. I'm curious what you make of it, and is there a gamble here? I mean, given what you just recalled for us about Le Pen.
So yes to all of that, basically. Very few political observers in France and very few sort of senior politicians had anticipated what was about to happen. The mayor of Paris was caught off guard. Members of Macron's own cabinet, his own party were caught off guard. They did not anticipate that he would call this election. But there are a few sort of driving factors behind it. Macron was possibly going to face a vote of no confidence later in the year. He doesn't actually have a parliamentary majority anyway. So there were a lot of domestic political pressures against him. There is, of course, the argument that France had parliamentary elections. You don't need to have them again. But the narrative power of Le Pen's success would have meant that her party would have been pushing for them. So he, in some ways, gets on the front foot here. There are also some factors that mitigate against Le Pen's party succeeding to the extent that they succeeded in the European Parliament, to do with the sort of French national electoral system versus the European Parliament's electoral system. So Macron may also be gambling that due to a variety of factors on a national level, his party will perform better than it did on a European level.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. I mean, how should Americans be viewing all of this? What kind of impact could this have on EU-US relations?
So first off, I think it's important to say that it wasn't a unitary rise of the far right. There were a few countries, Hungary, Sweden among them, Belgium, in which the far right did not perform as well as anticipated. I think, though, on the whole, this will have an impact because principally, as I said earlier, the European Parliament scrutinizes the commissioners, who are sort of the part of the European Union's kind of de facto executive arm, the European Commission. And so those are the people who, make visits to Washington. They conduct
Mm.
Europe-wide policy and propose Europe-wide policy. They are the ones who will make antitrust investigations. And so this will have sort of a direct impact on relations with the United States. Of course, American tech companies have had not the best relations with Europe's antitrust agencies. And so there will be tangible policy impacts down the line for the United States, American companies, things like that.
Right. Okay. We will stay tuned, and they will be watching our elections coming up here in just 5 months as well. Prashant Rao, thank you so much for your time and reporting. We appreciate it.